Today we're reading some more Am I the A-Hole, and I hope you guys are excited. As always, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you let me know down below and like and subscribe. And let's get into it. Enjoy, guys. Am I the A-Hole for saying that I'll take on more responsibility so that my parents can foster or adopt my special needs cousin? But only until I'm 18 and then I'll be done. My parents have 4 kids. I'm 16 male, the oldest, and next is my brother Harry, 13 male. And then my sister Jazz, 11 female. And then my younger sister is Amy, 8 female. Harry and Jazz have autism. Neither can talk clearly, but mumbling is the best they've learned. And they were delayed developmentally, so walking came later for them as well. Harry and Jazz are in a special needs school, a private one, because my parents wanted the best chance for them, and this place was highly recommended. Both of my parents work longer hours for this, and because of the longer hours they work and the aftercare they're paying for Harry and Jazz, it's meant that I've needed to take on some more responsibility, and especially with Amy. I take care of her every day after school until our parents come home. That includes cooking and deep cleaning the kitchen after I finish making food for us, so that my parents can cook for Jazz and Harry and not risk any issues with the food, because both have highly sensitive taste buds and they have limited diets. When Harry and Jazz go for respite or all-day therapies, my parents make time for Amy and just Amy. They don't want her to feel left behind or like she doesn't matter. I don't get the same attention. I never did, even when I was younger and things were bad. Amy was always the kid they prioritized time with when they had it, and I had expectations put on me that I would do my best to give her a great childhood. They put a lot of that responsibility for that on my shoulders by the time I was 11. I'm also more responsible for keeping the house clean because of my parents' working hours. Sometimes I'm the only one who cleans in a week, and I used to try and get Amy to help out with some light stuff, and my parents told me to let her enjoy her childhood. Recently, my uncle and my aunt died, and my cousin, who also has autism, ended up in foster care. My parents wanted to take him, but they told me that I would need to step up and do more for us to make it work. They even told me how bad my cousin has it in foster care right now. Dad told me that he hasn't found stability since his parents died several weeks ago. So what do they want? Me to take over all of the cooking, for me to do all the grocery shopping, but not with Amy, of course. And they want me to start adjusting to having 3 kids, 2 with special needs at times, so they can take 1 kid at a time to their therapies and appointments. It pissed me off because they also asked me to babysit all 3 special needs kids so they can make a bit more time for Amy because it'll be the hardest on her. I was pissed off, so I said sure, I'll do it, but only until I'm 18 and then I'll be done and they'll never see me again. My parents told me that my anger was unwarranted. Oh no, it's not. And everybody has to make sacrifices when a family is dealing with this many special needs kids. Am I the a-hole? No, OP, you've been completely parentified. It's scary how common stuff like this is. I've seen it where a mum has daughters and the oldest one gets treated like they're pretty much a parent. And yeah, that's what your parents have done, OP. Like the top comment says, not the a-hole. I am sympathetic to your parents to an extent, as they're in a tough position. Foster care can be a very difficult situation for children with different care needs, but the amount they're trying to put onto you isn't reasonable. You're not an adult and you shouldn't be expected to completely lose the last years of your adolescence. Yeah, damn right. And like this comment says, I'm so angry for you right now. They expect you to throw your whole life away to look after kids that are not even yours. Not the a-hole. And OP responds, and they expect me to be fine with never needing parents. They expect me to be the third parent and adult and make sure that everybody stays afloat while not caring if I do. Yeah, that's such an awful situation, and I don't really know how you get out of it. Can you show your parents these comments? I feel like they need to read them. But yeah, of course, you're not the a-hole, OP. Post number 2 is called Am I the a-hole for humiliating my daughter by treating her as she's been treating others? My tone is not going to come off good in this post. I'm extremely disappointed in my daughter ever since she's been at college. She commutes to campus. She used to be such a kind person, and now she has this higher and mighty attitude. Anytime somebody asks her for help, she'll either be condescending, tell them it's not her issue, or straight up call them dumb. I've talked to her so many times and it always results with her telling me that she's an adult. One example is my son asked me for help with an essay. He was learning MLA formatting and didn't understand it. She saw that I was helping him and made comments about him not being the smartest. I shut it down, but damage was done. He already has confidence issues with his grades and she knows that. That resulted in an argument. She's taking an art class. It's not going well for her. I can paint and she asked me for help. I told her everything that she's been saying to other people in the home. She started to get really upset when I made a comment about her not being smart. I finished with telling her this is how you make others feel when you do this to them, and she's refusing to talk to me. My wife is pissed that I humiliated her and is calling me a ding-dong. No, you're definitely not, OP. Your intent is good, OP. You're trying to teach your daughter a lesson about how she treats people. A super valuable one too. You can't live your life treating people like that. If you have a good talk to your daughter and say that you weren't just trying to bully your own daughter, but that's why she needs to treat other people better, then yeah, I feel like you're not the a-hole. Obviously, if you just called your daughter dumb and you didn't say anything after that, of course that isn't gonna help. The top comment says not not the a-hole. Treat others how you'd like to be treated. She learnt that she doesn't like to be humiliated when asking for help in a subject area that she isn't good at. She treated everyone else like that and upset and humiliated her brother. If that's how she thinks people should be treated in that situation, then she can't expect anything different if she finds herself in their shoes. I think you taught her a valuable lesson. I hope she learns from it. It does sound like your wife might be partially responsible for her attitude though, if she thinks it's okay for your son to be humiliated for no reason, but not your daughter who humiliated your son. Yeah, that's the thing though. Are they gonna learn a lesson? Because some people don't, and they get even more selfish or a-holy. Yeah, it's a complicated one because two wrongs don't make a right, but at the same time she needs to learn that it's not okay to do that, and she definitely deserved what you said. Yeah, I don't know, don't listen to me, I'm not a parent. Let me know down below what you think, guys. Pretty much everybody on here is saying not the a-hole. Post number 3 is called Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for cake slices that my teenage daughter ate? I, female 38, am a single mum with my teenage daughter Carly, female 17. My sister, female 36, lives nearby with her husband and 2 kids, female 9 and male 7. Carly sometimes babysits her cousins on the weekends so that my sister and brother-in-law can go out, usually for 3 to 4 hours. In exchange, my sister gives her 30 to 40 euros, cash in hand. Me and my sister don't make Carly babysit. She volunteers too. She likes having the extra money to fund her Starbucks addiction without a part-time job in fast food or retail. Plus, the kids love getting to see her. I'm glad that she's getting to learn responsibility. I think it's a win all around. Last weekend, there was a problem. A couple of hours after Carly came home from babysitting, my sister calls me. It was my niece's birthday 2-ish weeks ago, and there was some leftover birthday cake in their kitchen. It was a custom-made fancy lemon curd cake, and I remember at the party, a lot of the kids didn't want to eat it, so there was a lot left over. While she was babysitting, Carly had eaten 2 slices. My sister said that she should have asked before helping herself to the cake, and that it was expensive. I apologized to my sister, and I told her that I'd have a word with my daughter. She mentions again that the cake was custom-made and expensive, and says that we should be compensating her. At first, I honestly thought she couldn't be serious, but she did want me to give her money because of the cake. I mentioned that surely the cake is going bad soon if it isn't already stale. I said this light-heartedly, trying to lighten the mood, but I made it clear that I'm not giving her money. She says she paid 70 euro for the cake, and she expects me to give her 20. I told her I'm not doing that. My sister says that I'm being inconsiderate, and that my daughter ate the slices without permission. I feel like she's being petty. And what difference would it have even made if all of it got eaten last weekend, or at the birthday party? Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay her for the cake? There's a comment here that says change to not the a-hole. The cake was being kept at room temperature in a bread box on the counter. OP must have left some more comments about it. After 2 weeks, it really isn't even a viable edible item anymore, let alone one with any monetary value. Your daughter's lucky she didn't get food poisoning. Yeah, 2-week-old cake? Nobody should be eating that. Info, where in the kitchen was the cake being kept? And was there any previous understanding in place about your daughter eating leftovers while she's babysitting? Unless the cake was in the freezer at 2 weeks old, it's well past the point that it should be eaten by anybody, and is a food safety hazard. Maybe some food safety education for all parties involved would be appropriate. If it was in the freezer, your daughter should pay for it. If it was frozen, it was clearly being saved for the future. And OP said, it wasn't frozen, it was being kept in the bread bin. And yeah, I agree, it isn't the safest. Eating 2-week-old cake isn't something I've encouraged in my daughter, but she will eat anything. Yeah, you're definitely not the a-hole, OP. The top comment says, pay the sister for the 2 slices of her fancy-ass cake, and then tell your daughter that she will not be babysitting her siblings without full and comparable to other sitters compensation ever again, and tell her why. Your sister had the golden goose of babysitters, and she obviously had no idea how good she had it. Emphasis on had. If she wants to nickel and dime you, let's go. And don't bother to give your sister a heads up. She can find out that your daughter will be charging her, oh, shall we say what, 20 euro an hour for every hour, or whatever the going rate is, or she can scramble to find an alternative. Your daughter could be making all kinds of money for her Starbucks addiction, working for somebody else, but the bargain that sister had ended when she expected you to fork over 20 euro for stale leftover cake. Not the a-hole. Post number 4 is called Am I the a-hole for lying to my family for 2 years that my house purchase deal fell through? A few years ago, my husband and I told our relatives that we wanted to buy a country house by the lake. In our country, almost everybody lives in apartments, so our families were very happy. My mother immediately decided that she wanted to arrange a vegetable garden in the yard of this house. My husband's sister said it would be a great place where she could take our children for the summer. My sister started fantasizing about family picnics. My husband's brother joked that it would be a great place to get drunk on weekends. We were terrified. We didn't want any of this. We wanted to have a place where we could truly feel at home, where we can rest, where we can arrange everything to your taste, where there'll be peace and quiet and not family squabbles, where we can raise our future children. In the end, we decided to tell them that the deal fell through and there would be no house. After all, it's not even their business. We were the only ones ones buying a house and it has nothing to do with them. We didn't even have to tell them. We only told the truth to our best friends, whom we were sure would not spoil anything. The house is really beautiful and all my friends and I often go there on weekends. Well, 2 years have passed and my sister found out about the house by accident because one of my friends posted a photo from there. Now our families are furious and they call us greedy. Many of the relatives don't want to talk to us until we give them the address. My mum even asked for spare keys. This is exactly the hype that we tried so hard to avoid. I don't think we're a-holes, but my husband is starting to hesitate about what we should have done, so outside advice can help us. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. You definitely need to set some boundaries with them though. Like this comment says, not the a-hole. Tell your family, hey, we told you the deal had fallen through because you were all talking like you were entitled to share in our house. This is our weekend home. It's not yours to party in. We're not giving anybody else our keys, and we don't want you to raise a vegetable garden in our backyard. We go there weekends to relax and chill. Sorry that we lied to you, but your reaction right now says that we were exactly right not to tell you that we'd bought our house. No, we will not give you the keys, the address, the location, or an invite, and install cameras in case they find it. Yeah, why are they acting like this? And yeah, definitely don't give your mum any keys. You're definitely not the a-hole, OP, but you are going to want to talk to them about this. You're going to have to set some boundaries and say, like, listen, this is our house. You guys can't be acting like this. They definitely need to know. Post number 5 is called, am I the a-hole for ruining my brother-in-law's reputation by telling my friends the truth? My in-laws are currently furious with me for hurting my brother-in-law's feelings and reputation with my friend group. Recently, my single brother-in-law Chris, 38 male, has been hinting at me to introduce him to women and I've refused, and he's been having a hard time meeting women. He tried flirting with my friend, but she had been cold and non-receptive. This was my friend Grace, 35 female. Grace is not interested in him due to his inability to be faithful, and she wasn't physically attracted to him. He tried to flirtatiously engage with her during a small party my husband and I had last Saturday. My husband got a long-awaited promotion, so we had a little party. During the party, Grace had grown frustrated with his incessant flirting, and at some point told him in no uncertain terms that she found him physically ugly, and that his physical ugliness is only surpassed by the ugliness of his character. She told him this in private, and so no other guest had heard her scathing review of his personhood. Chris left the party. The following afternoon, while my husband and I were nursing a wicked hangover, my in-laws, to my surprise, called to scold me for having abused and embarrassed Chris. After a few minutes of us shouting back and forth on the phone, I reminded my husband that handling his family was his job, so while my husband argued with his parents, I reviewed our security cameras. And honey, Grace verbally tore him apart. Grace reminded him that he cheated and divorced his late ex-wife Lily while she was battling cancer, and that he then got dumped by the mistress for being a cheater as he continued to cheat on her. Grace told him that he wasn't a man of any significant value other than the few coins that he had in the bank, and that there's no way in hell that she'd entertain his delusions of sexual grandeur and beauty. She also said the only thing he had going for him was his overbloated job title as an executive director to a third-rate company that will probably collapse in the next 5 years. As a parting gift, she told him to consider some cosmetic work to improve his haggard appearance, and perhaps to start praying for divine intervention to fix his rotten soul, since there's no way a psychotherapist could ever come close to fixing whatever's wrong with him. My in-laws and Chris feel that I shouldn't have told my friends what Chris did, because he's now perceived by my girlfriends as a terrible person. I told them that he was unfortunately a terrible person, and people would have always found out what happened between him and the late great Lily. I then discussed what happened with my colleague Natasha. She said I was cruel for having told my friend group about what happened between Chris and his ex-wife, because Chris had grown a lot in the past 2 years, and didn't need to be known for the worst thing that he's ever done. Natasha is dating Chris's friend, so she also knows him. FYI, I've only discussed Chris's treatment of Lily with my direct friend group, and that's only 6 people, and half of them already knew as they were also friends of Lily, so it's not like I'm screaming, hear ye, in the town square. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. It's not like you're making stuff up about Chris. You're telling the truth. Like the top comment says, not the a-hole. How can telling the truth be perceived as unfair? Chris did this to himself. It was his behavior that's the problem. Why should you expose your friends to a potentially horrific relationship? You know that your brother-in-law's a cheater, but your in-laws want you to keep that from your friend so he can continue to take advantage? What, without consequences? I think you did the right thing. Like, yeah, you're looking out for your friends, OP. Like the comment under that one says, truth is an absolute defense to defamation. Not the a-hole. What kind of friend would you be if you didn't warn your friends about his cheating? If he's grown, then he can prove it. You don't owe him any setups, much less ones that you've been lied to by omission. Yeah, 100%. Post number 6 is called, am I the a-hole for getting my neighbor and client banned by all the local babysitters after they tried to renege on a deal? Over the holidays, I, female 17, got a chance to go to the Caribbean with my neighbors as their nanny. My parents weren't thrilled, but it was after Christmas, so they let me go. The deal was pretty simple. It was 10 days at an all-inclusive resort. I'd share a room with the kids and take care of them for 7 days and nights. In return, I got $500 and 3 days to myself. The rooms were adjoining. I think that's the right word. A door joined them. My parents insisted I get everything in writing so there were no mistakes. Basically, we agreed that I would work 2 days and take 1 day off, over and over. No problem, I thought, and I checked out the included activities and any excursions I might like. On my 3rd day off, I'd planned to go scuba diving. I got up early and I went on my excursion. When I got back, the parents were mad that I'd left without any warning. I reminded them that we had a deal, and they said that they'd met another couple there and they were going golfing and that I screwed up their plans. I don't know why they made plans on one of my free days. They were upset all the way home. When we got back, they posted about how irresponsible I was. One of the other families called me to get my side of the story. I sent them a picture of the deal we agreed on. They said that they knew I wouldn't do what I was being accused of, and then they started commenting on the post by my neighbors. My parents did this also, but I think everybody thought they were just protecting me. So now it's a big deal, and everybody knows that they tried to change our deal without talking to me. Some of the other babysitters or their parents are now saying that they won't babysit for my neighbors anymore. I feel bad about it because they paid a lot for my vacation, and if they had asked, I probably would have switched my excursion to the last day. Anyway, they're upset that I narked, which I didn't. They said that I could have talked to them if I had a problem, but I'm not the one who made it public. Yeah, exactly, OP. It's not your fault. That's so bloody frustrating. You're for sure not the a-hole. They get wrongly upset at you, and then they take it to Facebook and it backfires on them. That's 100% their fault. It's probably saved a whole bunch of headaches on the babysitters too, like by not babysitting for them in the future. If they're gonna be acting like this, why would you want to babysit for them anyway? Also, kinda childish that they just go and post stuff on Facebook about it. The top comment says, not the a-hole. You made an agreement in writing, which they insisted on. They wanted to renegotiate the terms of your agreement, so it's down to them to discuss that with you at an appropriate time, not on the day they wanted to switch. Even then, you would have still been completely within your rights to decline their request, as per the original agreement. You did nothing wrong. You stuck to what was agreed. They then decided to defame you on social media over this. There's literally no other reason for them to make their annoyance public other than to shame you. Fortunately for you, it backfired on them, and now as a consequence of their second mistake, they've gotten themselves blacklisted by other sitters. Do not feel bad for them. You reap what you sow, and you certainly have. This is not your responsibility in the slightest. I just hope you got your $500. Yeah, very good point. Don't feel bad for them, OP. This is not your fault. And yeah, that's right. They were trying to shame you on Facebook. They suck, OP. Post number 7 is called, Am I the a-hole for telling my friend that our daughters are no longer doing homework together and her kids' grades are hers to manage? My daughter has a best friend named Sarah. They're both in 4th grade. The two girls would do their homework together at the school's after program. School ended at 2:30 and I would pick my kid up at about 4, so they had time to do work. The issue started when I got a call from the teacher about cheating. Both girls' homework were identical. Even any sentence questions were word for word. I explained that the girls do their work together and she made it clear that this isn't helping and it's basically copying at this point. She can't tell if either girls is struggling from the homework, but she knows one girl is due to test scores. She told me she's going to talk to the other parent also. I informed my daughter that she needs to do her homework by herself, that she can do it by herself after school or play, and we'll do it when she gets home. She decided to do it by herself. It's been 2 weeks of this and overall seemed fine. The other girl's parent confronted me today. She asked why the girls were not doing work together. I explained the cheating situation and I thought that the teacher talked to her. She told me that they weren't cheating and just helping each other out, that her daughter's math score has gone down since then. I informed her the kids are no longer doing work together and her kids' grades are hers to manage, and if she is struggling now, then she needs to deal with it, and she called me an a-hole. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. And I feel like that's enough for this subreddit for today. I love Am I the a-hole, but we definitely need to read something wholesome. I know my limits on this subreddit. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. He insisted on following me to the bathroom, so I made him useful at least. Oh, cute. Little toilet paper holder kitty. Oh, that's so beautiful. I feel better after reading this today. I'm so happy we saw this. Thank you for posting this. Today I caught my 4-year-old son just staring off into space. I asked him if he was okay and he replied, yeah, just thinking about trucks, which was funny because I had the exact same conversation with my 67-year-old retired father last week. Wow, that's so funny. Everybody's thinking about trucks. So cute. Boys and thinking about trucks. Hey, you going to sleep? Yeah. You did well today. Good job. Aw, thank you, brain. That's such a good feeling when your brain tells you you did a good job. Half the time, I don't even know what I'm saying in these episodes. I'm sorry if I'm talking absolute nonsense, guys. I'm sure you know what I mean. Me, a single compliment. Oh, sorry, that was weird. No. More, please. That's so cute. And on that note, thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more episodes like this, make sure you like and subscribe. And the comment of the day goes to Vanguard Angel. Listening to Vincey, doing my makeup, feeding my dogs, and getting ready to treat my mum to lunch. Thank you for being a part of my morning routine. No, thank you for making me a part of your morning routine. That means so much to me. I really appreciate the support. The fact that I'm a part of your morning routine is so cool. The fact that anybody even watches my videos is so cool. So yeah, thank you guys. Got a brand new episode ready for tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!